Adi Sri Gurubhyo Namaha. Today we came up to a very important parva of Sravana Purnima. So Chaturdasi at the time of sunrise, but Purnima as of now, immediately from 8:40 a.m. onwards, and Dhanishta Nakshatram, Avittam, so Avani Avittam, so for Sukla Yajurvedi, it is Upakarna. So it is Hayagriva Jayanti. So who is Hayagriva? What is Jayanti means? The first Guru. So for in past 2 days, past 2 recordings, we have seen the topics relating to Yoga Darsana using Yoga Sudhakara, and we have looked at Rotanbhara Prajna, we have looked at Samprajnata Samadhi, there are Para Vairagyam, all these things, Ishvara Tattvam, then to look at Samadhi Pada, Sadhana Pada. So, first part of today's recording will be on the Hayagriva Jayanti for some time, and after that, taking the discussion on to our Vibhuti Pada. So, from Sadhana to Vibhuti, the connection and Vibhuti Pada is what is the subject that I thought of covering this recording. So, there is nothing called in the beginning of the creation or whatever it is. So, it is the manifestation as it emerges from the supreme, unchanging, homogeneous Brahman or supreme truth. When that supreme reality becomes unmukham, means becomes directed towards the creation, it is known as Ishvara. Ishvara is the Guru. So Guru is the Guru's Swarupa. It appears. Does Guru has any Swarupa? No Swarupa, because the ultimate reality has no specific form. That doesn't mean it is not having any form. It is all forms as well. So it takes a form of Hayagriva as the first avatar to reveal the Vedas. So from this supreme reality, which has no qualities, Gunadharam, when it becomes Unmukham, from there the Gunas emerge, or that supreme Ahankara. So when we look at the various things, Pradhana, Prakruti, then Ahankara, that by the time Ahankara, we will have Sattva, Raja, Stama, 3 Gunas. Based on these Gunas, they are Panchabhutas, they are based on the Jnana and Karma, they become 10 Indriyas and 10 Vayus, 10 Indriyas, 5 Pranavayus, so all the Tattvas emerge. But Hayagriva is the supreme Guru. So Ishvara is the first Guru. That first Guru has given the knowledge to the first Sishya. Who is that first Sishya? The creator Brahma is the first Sishya. So first the creator means a reflected image of the supreme Ishvara with the creative disposition as a creator. So the creator has to first understand how to create or to know the creation first. Without knowing the creation cannot be done. So the very first avatara this creator first tries to recognize himself and his duties. He takes up one of the divine noble actions called tapas. So he gets into the tapas, 1,000 years of tapas, and by Vishnu's grace, by Vishnu or the Father or the Supreme Lord's grace, the knowledge in the form of knowledge is Veda. Knowledge is the sound form of Ishvara. Veda is very much sound form of Ishvara. When that Veda, the sound form of Ishvara, is revealed to the receiver, the creator Brahma, the grandfather of all this universe, the Brahmanda, and Brahmanda has lokas. Each loka has again the triad of creation, maintenance, transformation triad, and everything goes on. So this form is known as Hayagriva. So during the course of time, there is a Asura who is also named as Hayagriva, who is also looking as similar to this original Hayagriva, looks like a fake knowledge which appears to be a correct knowledge, takes over the world and hides the true reality, right Veda, right understanding. Then that is retrieved again by the same supreme protector in the form of Hayagriva and renews it and gives it back to the creator Brahma to continue the creation and stuff like that. So that Hayagriva avatara is this parva, today's parva, Shravana Purnima with Shravana Dhanishta nakshatras. So this is for all the followers of the Vedic Sanatana, Vaidika Sanatana Dharma. It is a day of renewing that connectivity with that supreme reality through that divine connection that is called Upakarma as a ritual, and it renews the knowledge and the purposeful study of these shastras. So, very unfortunately, the modern view of thinking that yoga is another form of exercise or yoga is a form of yoga is a darsana. Again, if we look at it, if we're coming to that divine knowledge, yoga is one of the darsanas. There are 6 darsanas. So the Veda, the wisdom, has 6 limbs and 6 viewpoints. One of the darsana is yoga darsana. Yoga is a darsana. So what yoga gives is the Rutambhara Prajna, that Samprajnata Samadhi. So generally the perception, knowledge of perception, 10 indriyas, perception and action, 10 indriyas, one mind, and its ability to decide, logic, deductive, inductive logic, which we spoke again. This much is the only thing people recognize that as the capability. And this all happens only in something called one state, waking state of the consciousness. Consciousness also has a dreaming state, deep sleep state. In those states also it operates. But all these states take over vrittis, take over and a drashta, one who is the seer, the true form of that seer is not being understood. So from that situation, if anybody who wants to make this very precious lifespan meaningful, they have to pursue a properly defined, validated method to not to go forward. So basically, dharma, the Vaidika dharma, again teaches both the aspects of pravrutti and nivrutti. So what we generally spoke, all the things, typical ethics, logic, most of the philosophy of the modern origin is only taking the waking state and only taking these two pramanas, pratyaksha and anumana. Anumana in the sense the inference, mental capability. But beyond that two capabilities, there is an interesting or most important consciousness, the basic true nature of that consciousness, which is infinite and which is unlimited. Unlimited, infinite consciousness is there, which is the true tattva, true nature of the Purusha, or sattvic, or the pure sattvic nature. To recognize that, the methods, the darsanas are given. So it is very important to understand that Srutam Mema Prahasi. So it is very great ability, the core key distinction between any animal life and human form of life is the ability to transcend the regular like externalized view of life, birth, growth, consumption, reproduction, disease, decay, death. So all the six forms, again birth. So what will happen to something which is dead, or one body falls, another body need to be taken. So beyond this known external cycle, there is a internal pratyak chaitanya, which is the source of all that what is external, all that what is externalized view. So that is called pravrutti, is the externalized view. Nivrutti is to travel, transcend the pravrutti, travel backwards or travel inwards to reach the true original source of the consciousness. For that, what helps are the darsanas. So yajnam, tapas, yajnam, danam are the three foundational dharmas of a human being. By doing these dharmas, a human being can get the abhyudaya during the waking state, during the externalized operational world, abhyudaya, progress, and nishreyasa, finally reaching that ultimate state of that realization or the true nature, which is called nishreyasa, which is also known as moksha, mukti, kaivalya, nirvana. All these multiple words express the same thing. All this as a single unified knowledge is known as Veda. Then comes a sequence of gurus, Paramaguru, Hayagriva. So Hayagriva gave all this to the creator Brahma. In this Brahmanda, creator Brahma made it expand through Bhagavan Vasishta Maharshi, then Vyasa Maharshi, then Adi Sankara Bhagavatpadacharya, then all the way to the Guru. So the moment we see the Guru is Sakshat Hayagriva Avataram. Jnananandamayam Devam Nirmalam Sphatikakrutim Adharam Sarva Vidyanam Hayagrivam Upasmahe. Sarva Vidyanam, all Vidyas for the worldly nature, Vidyas for going beyond unknown worlds, means lokas beyond the standard earthly lokas, Swargaloka and others, can be achieved by taking the right paths suggested in the Dharma, or going beyond all the lokas to complete nirvana also can be achieved. So that is the Hayagriva Jayanti, the importance of Hayagriva Jayanti. So it is the origin day, the day of Vedas, revelation of the Vedas to Brahma. Hayagriva as a form of Hayagriva, again retrieval of these Vedas to the Brahma, reconnecting by a follower of Vaidika Dharma back to the Dharma, to renew the interest, renew the focus, renew the adherence, and to make this lifespan meaningful, purposeful, by crossing that levels of animal life to the divine life and into the highest reality. So that is the first part of today's discussion. Then to continue on to the last two points that we are looking at, the Yoga Darshanam. Yoga Darshanam, to bring that. So what happens predominantly in the Yoga Darshanam is having it is a Nirodha. So basically to control the nature of internal instrument called mind, chitta vrittis, the chittam, which is the foundational plane on which, the subtle foundational plane on which the subtle operations of the chitta happen. They go through this pramana viparya vikalpa. There are 5 different vrittis. Those vrittis are to be controlled. There are methods. So there is a straightforward method. Ishvara Pranidhanam added with tapaswadhyaya becomes Kriya Yoga. That added with Saucha, Santosha, Tapaswadhyaya becomes one of the limbs of the Ashtanga Yoga. So a practitioner, somebody who is serious, Dirghakala, Nairantarya, Satkara Sevito, Trudabhumi. So basically how they get established, yoga is a arudha. Yoga has to go step by step. So directly, so the purpose of yoga is to achieve the samadhi, nirbija samadhi, and to reach that kaivalya state. To otherwise recognize the kaivalya state as the true nature of the Purusha. Purusha's connection to the Prakriti is temporary through the gunas, and para vairagyam, Prakriti, Vishayas will be given up. The connection through the gunas also will be given up, finally realizing the thing. But in the process, there are vibhutis. So it is not, yoga is not something sitting on a yoga mat or doing a guided meditation or things like that. It is definitely much far beyond all these things, because it is a lifestyle itself. So someone who is taking the yoga as the path, yoga sadhana, yoga sadhaka, their goal is to achieve the final goal of kaivalya. But while going forward with that, everybody will have to validate what that is being done is giving fruitful. So that is where the sadhana, in the sadhana, if you go to the first samadhipada itself, eka tattva, there is one principle that need to be applied. Patanjali Maharshi gives that one principle that is to be applied to keep the chitta prasadana. So it reads like Maitri, Karuna, Mudita, Upekshanam, Sukha, Dukkha, Punya, Apunya, Vishayanam, Bhavanataha, Chitta Prasadanam. So basically this is Ekatattva Ghanabhyasam. So somebody should give, what is Abhyasa? One principle need to be given. So what is this one principle? As explained in Samadhipada. What is this one principle is? There are 4 bhavanas. Maitri means friendly feeling, friendly bhavana. Karuna, compassionate feeling. Mudita, a feeling of contentment, enjoyment or happiness. Mudita. Upekshana. Upekshana is giving up or not not being bothered about something, or ignoring in one way, actively ignoring, or it is an attitude. These four attitudes need to be applied onto four situations of life. Maitri, Karuna, Mudita, Upekshana. In the same Sukha, Dukkha, Punya, Apunya, Vishayana. There are situations of happiness, Sukha. So when Sukha is the happiness is seen, then the friendliness is to be done. No competition with Sukha. Need to compete, get more or whatever it is. Sukha, friendliness. Okay, that is the combination. Dukkha, compassion. The moment dukkha is seen, what is the attitude, what is the bhavana? Compassion. Wherever there is dukkha, the dukkha need to be alleviated. For oneself, somebody else, whatever sin, put the effort to remove that dukkha. So be friendly with sukha and our people who are in sukha. Be compassionate towards dukkha and people who are in dukkha. Punya, apunya. So punya is being in sukha and spreading that sukha to others, radiating that sukha to others. Punya is spreading or vistara of sukha, making pleasure go everywhere. So that is the punya. Punya is spreading sukha. Okay, then if we see punya, how we have to mudita, should be happy when the sukha is being spread. That happiness should come by punya. Punya and happiness are connected. Apunya. So spreading dukkha is apunya, or anything that causes dukkha to the self, to the others. What you should do, what bhavana you should do, you should get to upekshana. So if we come across this, otherwise upekshana, what will happen when dukkha? If we try to again in the first sukha, if we want to gain more and more, that brings a lot of attachment. In the type of apunya, also if the reaction goes saying that this apunya need to be controlled by me, because that is nothing to do with us. If the apunya is that happening, that such a situation comes, either that is not in our control, either the apunya, any dukkha is the outcome of the past papam, or earlier there is something that is committed, a karma, which that karmasaya is karma vipaka. When karma is fructifying, dukkha comes. When that dukkha is spread to others, that forms the punya. So the pressure comes, the pressure is given back to anything, the negativity comes, that negativity is spread across, that lead to apunya. So this is the ekatattva abhyasa. So like that, the techniques are given in the Patanjali Yoga Shastra, and rishis have explained to the followers who want to take it serious and follow this. So using this, moving forward, what will happen? A follower need to assess or whatever need to be done. So there are in the sadhana pada, we look at there are 5 limbs. So there is a kriya yoga. In the kriya yoga to ashtanga yoga, slightly different techniques, slightly different ways of looking at things, but they all end up with the external sadhanas. So sadhanas are yamaniyamas are done. Asana, pranayama, pratyahara. There are the 3 limbs. So yamaniyamas are the foundational principles which form the basis of yoga sadhana. Then we have 3 externalized limbs: asana, pranayama, pratyahara. So asana is about sitting in a comfortable posture. to do all these things, which should not give any disturbance because of the external bhutas, the posture. So, sthira sukham asanam. So, that is the simple thing. Pranayama is about not breathing in, breathing out, but pranayama is recognizing the internal energy that is powering all this body and indriyas, which is activated by this process called breathing, and controlling that, because that and the chitta vritti have the same root. By controlling the prana, chitta will also be pacified. Chitta will also come to the peaceful, controlled state. So, niruddha. Niruddha, ekagra, niruddha. So, basically, kshipta, vikshipta, ekagra, niruddha. There is one more, it just went away from the smriti. So, okay. So, there are multiple modes of this internal instrument. So, the idea is to get it into niruddha state. So, to get to the niruddha state, there is a ekagra state, one-pointed nature. That is what we were trying to bring using samadhi. Otherwise, it is kshipta or vikshipta. Kshipta, moodha, vikshipta. Either it will be agitated with the action, or it will be asleep with complete non-recognition, or it is a combination of all these things, vikshipta. Chitta is in these three states predominantly. And the controlled state, there are two states, ekagra and niruddha. So, with the effort, when we put ekagra, one-pointed, eka, agra, one-pointedness, finally it gets controlled, completely in the control, and then it will lead to the samadhi and kaivalya and all those things. So, from the ekatattva abhyasa, which is for long term, and to do that there are multiple vikshepas. So, whenever these things are, difficulties are arising, whenever a person is pulled out of the yoga marga, it need to be put back into it. That is the sadhana, abhyasa. Abhyasa means keep putting oneself back onto this sadhana marga. Then comes the vibhutis. This is the interesting part. So, what are these vibhutis? Now, all these up to now, sadhana pada, what we have seen, they can be externally aided. So, we can get the knowledge, we can get support from somebody and do it. But there are three processes which are called dharana, dhyana, samadhi. Put together, they are known as samyama. So, dharana is limiting the mind to a particular space is called dharana, a space or a particular frame of reference. So, not shifting. So, what happens is mind shifts in both ways. It keeps shifting the frame of reference field, and it keeps shifting the energy and guna. So, dharana, dhyana, samadhi are the three things. Dharana is to keep it to a frame of reference, not changing the frame of reference, not changing the pratyaya, not changing the movement or the type of bhavana is dhyana. So, dharana, dhyana put together, when the dharana and dhyana are naturalized for the mind, it is get into the samprajnata samadhi. It gets into the samadhi. Then this samyama, when samyama is performed on various things, samyama, for example, samyama, when samyama is performed on sun, all the 14 worlds knowledge will arise. So, this is the thing. What is it? It is like a test. So, I have how to validate. So, if I am doing the samyama right or wrong, how do we validate this? Only by validating with the stated result. A sadhaka can say, okay, my samyama is working because I can do this samyama on this particular thing and gain that direct experiential knowledge of what is being stated. So, these things are known as vibhutis. Vibhuti is something which we wear here. So there are different vibhutis, including this Ashtasiddhis, Anima, Mahima, Garima, Laghima, Prapti, Prakamyam, Isatvam, Vasatvam. All these are the Ashtasiddhis. All these can be achieved by samyama on different aspects where probably doing it. So there are people, there are sadhakas who are doing this for specific siddhis. There are sadhakas who are doing it for specific loka siddhi praptis or whatever it is, various ways they will do it. But all these become obstacles for final realization. So that is the Shastra's teaching of the Vibhuti Pada. So, so to conclude on this, so the Vibhutis are the kind of tests. Tests are the validation for the process of yoga. And there are several stated as per the Shastra. And they give the revalidation, reinforcement to this whole path for a yogi to continue to strive until reaching that Kaivalya. So again, on this wonderful Hayagriva Jayanti, Guruvara, that also this Parabhavanama Samvatsaram Hayagriva Jayanti has happened on a Guruvara, Bruhaspati So that also is like a Guru Purnima. So it is 1 month from the Ashada Purnima. So the Chaturmasya Vratam, 1 month of Chaturmasya Vratam is complete by today. Such an auspicious Parva, reminding ourselves with that greatness of the wisdom, the knowledge itself of the Veda, and the great rishis, starting from the Narayana, the great Supreme Lord himself as the first Guru, all the way to my Guru. Om Namo Bhagavate Virajeshwaraya, wishing one and all who are on the Sampradaya tradition of this Vaidika Sanatana Dharma to be successful in their pursuits, both in the Pravritti Marga and also in the Nivritti Marga, by correctly understanding and correctly following the Dharma. With that wish, Swasti.